crypto community. This is Jade, the Martian. And this is news for all of us. Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Tron, whatever camp you're in. This is big. The CFTC approved Ledger X to settle futures in real Bitcoin. This is the first ETF approved to facilitate institutional grade custodying of Bitcoin within the United States. So, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission has cleared Bitcoin derivatives provider Ledger X to offer physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts. The CFTC said Tuesday it had approved Ledger X's application for a designed contract market, meaning the company can now offer the new futures contracts. Ledger X is the second company, sorry, I thought it was the first, the second company to receive approval to offer to physically settle Bitcoin futures. The other firm, such as Backed, Seed, CX, and ErisX, plan to enter the market, while Backed and futures contracts have been self-certified, as the firm is awaiting the New York Department of Financial Services to license its warehouse. Okay, so I'm confused because it claims that they're the second, but it's trying to say that Backed was first, but Backed didn't receive clearance from the CFTC. They have self-certified themselves to do this. So they're still waiting on their license to come through. So it's almost as if Nikhilesh wanted to paint it as if Backed was the first. But let's see. Unlike the cash-settled Bitcoin futures listed by the Chicago Exchange CBOE and CME in partial settled futures, the buyer receives the underlying commodity when the contract expires, rather than the fiat equivalent. Monday's approval means that the New York-based Ledger X can not only list these Bitcoin futures contracts, but crucially can offer its products in to retail clients, not just institutional ones. Oh, so this is actually bigger even still, because this is going to go to anyone who invests in the stock markets, right? Not just institutions. So what we've actually seen is institutions having access to these in the past. What we're now going to see is what the people are going to do, right? So the institutions tried to short it, tried to kill it in 2018. That's the narrative. And it didn't work, I guess. So now they're going to let the retails in and see if they too think that they are going to kill the price of Bitcoin. And we'll see what happens. So I don't think that that's actually what's going to happen, to be clear, right? I actually fully expect Bitcoin to be rallied off of this. I think as many people in Bitcoin community actually expect it to, right? It's just that the futures did cause some rather serious destruction to Bitcoin's price in 2018, as was visible, because it was literally the day after the futures went live that Bitcoin tanked, right? So, with that said, Monday's approval means that New York-based Ledger X can not only list these, but again is able to put them out to their retail clients. So no timeline was provided for when Ledger X might start to offer these futures, but the chief operating and risk officer Juthika Show told CoinDesk that the company was looking to be the first provider of this product in the US. Now that's interesting, because we're supposed to see backed physical futures being traded in July. So let's see. This is looking kind of interesting for July, right? this means that we might be seeing it come live within the next few weeks, because if I remember correctly, Bakkt intends to have its launch July 22nd, I believe. Don't quote me on that exact date, but I know that it's mid-late July. So maybe 2 to 3 weeks we should see something come of this, at least some news of when they're going to announce, right? So be looking forward to seeing if we get anything else out of Ledger X between now and then. To finish up here, though, to read off a quote directly from Juthika, there's no doubt that we're looking to be first. We're looking to be the incumbent, she said. We think we're better positioned, and we want to be there to service customers of all sizes. Ledger would follow the same self-certification process that it already underwent to offer swaps and options, Cho said, adding, ultimately, the products are not that economically different than what we're already offering, but this would open up to a broader market. While Bakkt has previously announced that it would be testing its own physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts in July, the firm launch date has yet to be announced. Okay, so I thought that we got a date in July, but I guess that is yet to be announced according to CoinDesk. So SeedCX and ErisX have likewise not yet announced when they would launch their futures products or forwards in SeedCX's case. Now, the months-long process. So Ledger X applied for the DCM in November 2018, and I'm assuming that's the decentralized clearing something. I don't know, something along the lines of allowing them to hold digital currencies. Digital currency monetizing license? I don't know. Market license maybe. Yeah. Why does it not say here? It doesn't say. Did it say earlier and I missed it? Oh. Designated contract market. Okay. So their contract is designated for... sorry, guys. So this designated contract market they filed for in November, and they had been working with the CFTC, which it had offered swaps and options contracts for its customers. All right. So ultimately, the new license carries with it the same set of responsibilities that the other two have. Cho said that though securing the latest approval was a pretty difficult process due to the issues involved, Ledger X is now eyeing a gradual rollout of its new products, including its retail-focused Omni platform. And I've heard quite a bit about Omni in the past, so I really need to start digging into this now that we're hearing about Omni as it pertains to Ledger X. Going to be among the very first people to be issuing both institutional and retail grade investment platform for those individuals, right? So to conclude here, Cho added, we have a pretty extensive wait list, and we'll work through that until we feel comfortable. Obviously, this is in regards to their rate of rolling out their new platform to everybody to have access to. So what will this do for price is yet to be seen, because it's yet to be released, talking about this coming in July again. So we can only wait to see what happens, if we get a set release date or if this is something that might get pushed off till August. It seems like there's a lot of hurry up and wait when it comes to crypto developments, though we've seen a slew of outstanding news come about as of just this week, even, with the central, the Federal Reserve and the European central banks both coming out saying that they're going to utilize blockchain for cross-border remittances. And oh my, who's the only one that's really tackling that problem on a global scale and actually engaging with governments? Oh yeah, that's right, it's Ripple, right? welcome to the revolution, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like I said, this is awesome, not just for Bitcoin, but for the rest of the ecosystem as well, because this is what's going to bring the masses in. This is going to excite the hordes and get them into Bitcoin and the rest of the digital asset ecosystem. So, I hope you have enjoyed this article review. Sorry that I got a little bit off topic there and lost for a minute or two. But at any rate, we got through it. If you enjoyed my content, please be sure to hit that subscribe, ring that bell if you're interested in staying up to date with all my XRP content, and also be sure to hit that like so that YouTube can pump this up in the algorithms and the trolls can find it to make fun of the points where I got had a lapse in memory of what we literally just read, right? So thank you for tuning in. As always, I've been Jade. You've been watching the Martian Report, and I can't wait to see all of you in my next video on Mars.